Waterloo Region Initiative aims to use donated municipal land, waived fees, and partnerships with local developers who agree to eliminate markups and build at cost. It hopes to build 10,000 homes by 2030. I don't know what builder is going to build at cost for the lumber and how they're expected to
tax credits.
Where's the incentive for them?
To
spend the next 6-7 years building 10,000 homes.
You're listening to the Ottawa Real Estate Podcast with your hosts, Paul Stevenson, David Warren, and Greg Campbell. Let's see what's going on in the world of real estate today.
Headphones on. Engaged. It's
the Ottawa Real Estate Podcast. We are back. It must be beginning of the week, gentlemen. We must be rested. It must be September. There must have been no rate hike last week.
There must have been. Yes.
We're buzzing.
Must have been. Greg's got the stats for August. We got all the juice.
We got all the juice.
All the something.
All of that juice.
All the coffee. All the coffee
that you need. Yeah.
How was the weekend?
Good. I picked up Anna from the airport in Montreal, and she's back after 3 weeks away. So that was nice. So we just kind of hung out.
You survived.
I did.
Survived the 10 days solo dating.
Longer than that. It was actually a total
weeks,
of 20 days. 20 days total. 20 days total solo dating. Loved it. Didn't love the 3 hours it took us to get to the airport in Montreal on Saturday. With construction, that was kind of not fun at all, but we made it home.
Montreal's the only city worse than Ottawa, I think, for roads and construction.
Yes, absolutely. Have you guys ever eaten at that place on the way back? I think it's in Saint Lazare. It's called Mon Village. It's like this old house off the side of the highway, and the food's amazing. Food, service, everything packed. It's packed. I've been there twice. It's always full. Like, you need to make a reservation basically, or else you're sitting at the bar, which is fine if there's two of you. But it's really good. I recommend it to anyone listening. If you're ever just in between and want to go have lunch or dinner, go to Mon Village. Look it up online. Mon Village restaurant.
Funny thing is, I know exactly where that is because my father grew up in Hudson, which is right there.
Well, yeah.
Well, I was gonna say the only stop I ever make is at that Hudson,
it's right after
station,
that,
off ramp.
Yeah. If you keep when you keep driving, the next off ramp, it's that you can see it from the road.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Oh, dude, and check it out. So we pull in, parking lot's full. There's a helicopter. There's a blue, I don't know. I want to say Bell 209 for some reason, but it's not a Bell 209 helicopter. I just felt like saying Bell 209. Wow. And where I'm like, it's just there. They probably just have it. I don't know. No one's using that. Anyways, we come out after dinner. People are getting into it. It's lighting up. We watched the whole thing take off. Got the video.
Wow.
It's pretty dope.
And who was it?
It was two guys and their wives. Their wives, I assume.
Just stopping off for
stopping off
for a roadside meal.
Just
a roadside meal.
Just to hang out. Yeah. No, Bell 209. I'm looking at the Bell 209 now. Yeah, it's like an assault helicopter. Legendary combat. I knew that. I know the name from just old,
Call of Duty.
Watching Missing in Action with Chuck Norris or something.
It's like everyone knowing what an AK is, like the only gun everyone knows.
Yeah, Bell 209 AH-1 Huey Cobra. It's the code. Yeah, I know it. That's an aggressive.
That's a badass helicopter.
That's quite the
would have been amazing if it was that and turned around and fired on everyone.
quite the vehicle for dinner at.
Wait a minute,
this turned aggressive.
Mon Village turned into No Village.
So while you're doing a food tour in Hudson, check out the Willow as well. The Auberge, the Willow.
Auberge, the Willow.
Good
the
spot.
Willow. Okay. Yeah. Next.
Right on the water. Delicious. Fantastic. Good place for lunch.
Oh yes, the Auberge Willow Inn. Okay. I'm gonna go.
Everyone, on your way to Montreal, we're giving you all the stops. That's what this podcast should just be. Food
when you're 45 minutes in.
Yeah.
When you're not tired at all and don't need to go to the washroom.
When you're an hour into your
make an unnecessary stop.
I love it. All right.
Speaking of unnecessary stops, If people want to make an unnecessary stop at the article I was featured in last week, NerdWallet, NerdWallet invited me to be I don't know, a guest, I guess, a host, they wanted my take on the 3 ways to secure a mortgage for your first investment property. So I'll make sure Stephen puts that in the notes. NerdWallet's kind of like a they're a massive financial literacy company in the US, and now they're expanding into Canada and the UK. Been around since I think like early 2000s maybe. So it was pretty good. I thought the guy Clayton who wrote it did a really good job on it, and it's some good tips in there. Good tips in there. If you're a homeowner or not, you want to buy an investment property, get in there, give it a read. We think.
Give it a gander.
Give it a gander.
Yeah, I definitely want to check that out.
Lots of news this week since our last episode. I mean, we've had announcements. The stats have come out for August. We've seen some surprising things happen in the market. Greg, should we start with stats? Should we start with the rate? What do you guys want?
We could just touch on. We could touch on quickly. Bank of Canada didn't do anything.
Do that.
So that's done. So next topic.
Yeah. So rates stayed the same. There was an article, CMT, Canadian Mortgage Trends. It said that the August job gains keep the Bank of Canada rate hikes in play. So they're not ruling it out for October. It says surprisingly strong employment gains in August are keeping the door open to an additional Bank of Canada rate hike. No, to be fair, they said that every single time. And they've said the opposite, like, well, now this will be the last one every single time. So like, this means absolutely nothing to me. Statistics Canada reported that nearly 40,000 new positions were created in the month, consisting of over 32,000 full-time and nearly 8,000 part-time jobs. This kept the nation's unemployment rate unchanged at 5.5%. The job market is keeping everyone guessing, noted James Orlando. While the positive job gain provided an offset to weakness in prior months, the population boom of 103,000 last month is causing labor force growth. So 54,000 to outpace hiring. So then it just says, leaving the door open. Fast forwarding here, today's employment data complicates the recent streak of weaker economic indicators, including slower consumer spending and slowdown in GDP growth. Economists say the Bank of Canada will want to see further signs that its 475 basis points of tightening over the past 18 months are working to slow the economy. No, you think?
It's a little tough to not also have employment gains when there's hundreds of thousands of people coming in the door.
Yeah.
Like they need employment. Anyways, so
yeah, if you bring 100,000 people, you hope that 100,000 people are going to be working when they like after that. So something's got to give, right?
Something. Well, in numbers for the board, we are up way more than I thought we were, based on my comments last week. Now that the actual numbers are out, so we are actually up. We sold about we did sell like 70 more homes than we did in the previous year. So we were just about 1,200 properties sold versus 1,130 last year, an increase of 6%. And the average price, and I hate these, the average price, average price of a freehold class property in August was $710,000, an increase of 0.5% from 2022, and a 5.6% decrease over July. So coming down, condos were 426,000, an increase of 1% from a year ago, although 1.4 lower than July 2023. So we're about the same, and that kind of surprises me personally, but that's where it's at according to these numbers. Now, I don't want to go too much into the overall numbers here. As I always say on the show, those numbers are overall. Wherever you're looking, it's very specific to a neighborhood type of home and what could be done to the home. So check with your local realtor or give me a call if you want an actual estimate of what the value is in your neighborhood. I did a little bit of a deep dive into Kanata this week. And again, when we talk about it, when I see so many homes and I'm able to go out and see so many properties, it blows my mind that we're still in what's considered a seller's market. Like average overall for everything is 30 days on market. Like for condos, rentals, detached homes, towns, and semis, it's like averaging 30 days exactly. So for detached homes in Kanata right now, we have 61 active This, however, the actives is averaging 61 days on market. At $1,090,000 is the average price. Conditionally sold in the last week, we had 2 averaging 25 days on market at an average of 832,000. Sold, we had 21 sold in the last 4 weeks, 33 days on market, 941,000, versus in 2022 we had 30 sold at the same time, 37 days on market at an average of 811. So that's a substantial increase in terms of price point. Now, overall, the overall average, I would say, based on active, conditionally sold and sold, is about 930 for a detached home in Kanata. So now you think of that versus the average, what the board says, average home price, 710,000, that's vague. So don't base anything on that. Like I said, talk to your representative, talk to your sales representative, your realtor, or call me. Towns and semis, 40 active, averaging 47 days on market, selling at 655,000. Well, that's what they're asking. Sorry, not selling. Conditionally sold, we have 7, averaging 13 days on market at 619,000. Sold, these are the important numbers. Sold 21, 22 days on market, 683,000. In 2022, same time, we had 19 sold, 33 days on market at an average price of 614,000. So that number is also up substantially.
Both are up a lot.
And the average overall, based on active sold and conditionally sold, is about 650,000. So that's for a townhome in Quebec. In Quebec.
Right beside Greg's new favorite restaurant.
Right beside Mon Village, Saint Lazare.
So I was looking.
In Canada. So condos, active condos, there's 28, averaging 46 days on market. Average price is 409,000. Conditionally sold, we had 5, averaging 13 days on market at an average price of 436,000. That's interesting. 13 days on market. Now sold condos, 9 sold, averaging 27 days on market at an average price of 401,000. Last year, same time, 12 sold, 35 days on market, 368,000 average price. So Kanata is way up in terms of average price of solds in all categories. Like there's no question. And the thing that's interesting about the condo sales, I say, 30 days on market is pretty much average across the board. But if you look at this, there's active days on market is 46. The conditionally sold ones are 13. And then the sold are 27. Now, the 27, take into consideration 10 days average for a status certificate review, conditional period. So that would bring it to around, the actual days on market before they sell might be 15 for the condos. Rentals, 23 active, averaging 20 days on market. 3,100 is the average price for rentals. And again, my rental data is all rentals. That could be anything. Rented, we had 18, 20 days on market, same price, 3,100. So 3,100 right now is the average for, a detached home is going to be more than that. A townhome might be slightly less than that, but the average is 3,100. Check this out. 2022, same time, we had 39 rentals. Remember, it was last summer, like the rental numbers were just like insane.
Yeah.
Like 150 available or something like that. So 39 were rented in 2022, 21 days on market average rental price, $2,450. Was when it was saturated.
Yeah.
But now it's not 3,100. So these Kanata numbers are huge.
Yeah.
I wonder what the age of those homes are, like the sales. Like, I just wonder if there's a lot of newer homes in there. That
you know what? And that's a good question. I didn't do it I don't work by that stat. It's just all of Kanata, period. And that doesn't include Stittsville in there.
Yeah. I'm just thinking like Kanata versus like Old Ottawa South or something. You're going to get newer built homes that might sell faster there.
I'd say it's about for Kanata, I think it's probably about 50-50 in terms of what's sold and what's not. And the older ones might be renovated. I took some massive ones out of there. There was ones that were like 3 million. I didn't include those, but I took everything from like, basically 500,000 to 1.5 million or just under 2 million, I think. But the average, it's pretty accurate.
Transactions are the same, August and July and August.
Yeah.
Interesting. August
Which is
12th.
we're still technically in a seller's market, but it
Yeah.
just it's
well, based on those numbers, I would say, like if you take a
Yeah.
snapshot of just Kanata and across the board, I mean, that's definitely a seller's market.
Mhm.
With those gains, that's wild. The fact that we were the same as July of 1,200 transactions, actually up from last year, is shocking, because I know every broker I spoke with, every realtor I spoke with, everyone's been getting
Yeah.
a lot of practice on their golf game, worried
Yeah.
about their finances and whether they're going to actually sell a home or not. Yeah,
It's true.
That's surprising.
I was definitely surprised. I figured we'd be around like 800 maybe, but anyways.
Yeah, it's always interesting when you look at those numbers, like 1,200 transactions. Let's just say purchase transactions. Obviously, we work in other types of files as well. But when you're talking 4,000 or 5,000 realtors and, let's say 2,000 mortgage professionals for 1,500 or for 1,200 transaction, it doesn't leave a lot of pie for people. There's a lot of people that didn't do a single transaction in August.
Oh yeah.
It's always interesting when you see those numbers, like how there are still so many people, like there's, 5-6 times the amount of professionals as there is transactions. So something's got to give. That's the title of today's episode.
It's a big thing, and like it's a big thing in the US right now too. I think they were talking about I don't know if it was Tom Ferry who said, there's 2 million agents in the US working, and he was saying there should only be about 150,000. That was his number. I thought that was low, but I mean, I don't know, different cities, different markets, I'm not sure. But yeah, a lot of people in the business.
Now the number of realtors and market and everything is a great segue into an amazing comment that we received.
Oh, yes.
I don't know which one of us wants to read it. Who wants to read it with fury?
Paul can read it. Paul's good at reading those.
I'll practice. I'll do the typing.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is by one of our listeners. His name is Jeff. Says
That's amazing.
Yeah, he comments often. He says, bring it on, baby realtors. Get out there and do what you do. Lying, manipulating, fear tactics. Bring it all on, boys. We need to bring this market back, and bad people. With that, we can get these victims, aka buyers, buy up and push this market into the stratosphere. That's when my main man Tiff can come squish the market like a dead raccoon on the pavement. I love it. Squish, squish, squash. Back and bad, baby.
I don't even know what it means.
Any thoughts, gentlemen?
I mean, it's great.
It's great comedy.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love Jeff's comments. He's a wonderful listener to have. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing to say. I mean, it's just sure.
I know when we made our predictions at the beginning of this year that he thought we were out to lunch, but Steven thought it would be a good idea he's got our predictions up here from I think the first episode of the year. So these were our predictions for 2023 as of January. So I had said there would be a 6.8% growth in the market, 22,000 transactions, and the rates would be down a quarter point, which is actually looking maybe plausible right now. Greg said 5% growth, the emergence of new designs in new builds to increase fractional ownership. Transactions will be up, period. Spring market will be aggressive. And Dave says 20% increase in sales, 7.5 to 8% growth. Rates will stagnate at 6.95 or drop a quarter point.
Huh.
I think we're trending. I mean, we're trending.
I'm aggressive on that sales figure. I don't even recall saying 20%, but I mean, obviously,
I think last year was only 15,000 or something. It was super low last year, so I think that's why we were saying the market would kick back this year.
I mean, the percentages on values at the end of the year might be we might all be pretty close. Definitely going to be in the vicinity, I think, based on
it seems like it
trending. Yeah. Well, we got a few more months to go, and we'll see how completely
I'm done with
out
predictions
to
for
lunch
the
we
year,
are,
guys. I'm
whether
just gonna wait and see how this pans out.
Well, wait till our main man Tiff gets in there and squashes
and squashes. Yeah,
We squash our economy.
Yeah. Squish
Dave,
squash.
you had some national news, I think, with regards to
Yeah. So I thought there was a good one, and I know I've heard it from some people. I think we might have talked about it, but something that in Manitoba, one of the parties is doing, because there's an election going on in Manitoba, but talking about waiving, and I think every province should do this. I don't even know why it's not a thing, but waiving land transfer tax for first-time home buyers. So it looks to be, this is a CBC article, looks to be the Conservative Party announces a new cut on the second day of official campaigning that they will eliminate the land transfer tax for first-time home buyers, which would reduce provincial revenue by about 35 to 40 million. And that in Manitoba, which is not a heavily populated province, brings in roughly 130 to 140 million a year in revenue. But I thought, really there is a lot that needs to be done to help first-time home buyers get in the market. And I think the added costs of closing costs that surprised a lot of people over and above their down payment, which is hard enough to save up. I think not having a land transfer tax is great. Like, why not throw that in the mix with, a one-time thing instead of just this rebate that we have of the 4,000 in Ontario, really just eliminate altogether. But anyways, I thought that was a something that's good. And I think that like I said, every province and every party should be on board with that. There's no reason to not be on board.
Totally. Well, we've also seen BC and Prince Edward Island also have rebates, but when that rebate came out, it caps out at 368,000 as a purchase price. When it came out, which I don't remember the exact year that it came out, a while ago now, but that 368 seemed like a huge purchase price. Like at the time, it was actually like a standard. If you're buying a single family home, you should probably get in there for around that 368. Now, when you're buying, and Greg just said it, like the average home price is 700,000 in Ottawa. You're still paying half of your land transfer tax. Like you get a credit for some, but you're still paying land transfer tax on your first home, which again, that just adds cost to that. It creates an additional barrier to entry on a property. It's funny. My son was asking me the other day about property taxes, which is hilarious at 12. And I was telling him, and he's like, but I thought we owned the home. I said, well, we do. We just don't own the land it's on. Hey, we own the house, just not we have to just pay tax on the land. And he's like, well, I would get rid of taxes altogether. I would get rid of property taxes if I were if he was in charge.
Let's get him in office. Let's get him in office.
Yeah. So I was just asking how, how things like roads and things would work without property taxes. Now we take enough taxes elsewhere in Canada that I don't think property taxes would make much of a difference, but it was an interesting take explaining to him that we do, you buy a house, but you own the land forever.
Right.
So the land transfer tax waiving for purchasing a home, I think is fair. You'll be paying it forever. So just a little leeway to get in there,
and being that it's a one-time credit.
Yes.
Anyways, I thought that makes a lot of sense. And there are other provinces that do have it in place. I believe BC does not have one for first-time home buyers. Like it's a full rebate. But anyways, I thought that caught my eye over the weekend. Another one that was that's pretty interesting is Doug Ford went on in a press conference to promise $500,000 homes in the GTA with zero information about it or how this is going to be accomplished. Offer young people 1,600 square foot homes with backyards, driveways, finished basements for $500,000 or less. No idea how that's
too
going
good to be true, David.
No idea how that's going to be accomplished. Just because they're basically giving land back but they're still, I'm certain, still charging $100,000 in development fees for housing and or for a single detached in the GTA. So I don't know how they're going to accomplish $500,000 homes, but thought that was very interesting.
Emerging market in the next few years between her building homes with no permits needed. Sorry, dodging the red tape, and Doug Ford building homes for selling homes for $500,000. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they come up with down there.
When the average is over double that currently, Something tells me
The
they
big
might have
plan.
yeah. We'll see. We'll see how that turns out. I don't know what developer is building those, or whether the government's getting into construction as well. But yeah, I like these. I love these announcements by all parties when it's of just tossing out dollar amounts and number of properties with zero plan, zero cost analysis or strategy. Just we're going to do that. Why not?
I think a lot of people are kind of just, listening to that now, and they're just, over it. Like no one even there was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
It's just another thing. Has nothing, and I don't know, like they just don't think it has anything beneficial to anyone. You know what I mean? You just kind of you listen to it and you're like, yeah, whatever. Just I'll worry about myself and what I'm going to do, and I'm not even going to think that that's a thing.
Yeah, I think people just don't believe headlines. Like you read a headline and it, maybe 10% of it is right. You kind of see it and you're like, like there might be a small part of that that's accurate, but I'm probably just going to disregard anything they're saying until it happens.
Oh, here we go. So in this article, and this is a Globe and Mail article, the average price of a home in the GTA last month was $1,080,000, according to the Toronto Real Estate Board, and he's talking about 500,000. And then it goes on to say the Premier's idea resembles an affordability housing plan already launched in the Waterloo region, where Doug Ford made his speech Friday, spearheaded by the charity Habitat for Humanity. The Build Now initiative. Waterloo Region Initiative aims to use donated municipal land, waived fees, and partnerships with local developers who agree to eliminate markups and build at cost. It hopes to build 10,000 homes by 2030. I don't know what builder is going to build at cost for the lumber and how they're expected to
get tax credits.
Where's the incentive for them? To spend the next 6-7 years building 10,000 homes.
Just like the bureaucrats, they just do it for the people. They just
I don't know that that's really going to come to fruition either. Again, we'll keep an eye on this. We'll see what happens.
It's still so wild. Like sometimes I'm driving down the street and I see a home for sale, and then I think about it, I'm like, oh, that home's probably 850,000 or something. And then I actually registered like how much money that is for that house. Like when we were kids, like we all grew up in the same neighborhood. I remember like Massey Lane, like kind of in the Rockcliffe area, was always like mansions, like $1 million homes. But they were $1 million. Like that was $1 million. Like that was the higher end. Like $1 million was the dream home, pillars in the front, White House,
lions at the end of the driveway at the gate.
Gated, electric gate. Now $1 million is, like you just said, Dave, like a basically a 1,600 square foot home in Toronto. It's just it's mind blowing. I always love those. There's some of those. I think it's TikTok or one of those. They do, what you can get for the price of a Toronto home in like Aruba, and they have like these like people are buying like castles in Spain.
And the ones there's a guy that always does stuff in Colombia too. It's amazing.
Yeah.
For the same price of a home in Toronto, this is what you get in Colombia. It's like all just madness.
Yeah. The other guy is I know, Paul, which one, the guy you're talking about, he compares it to castles in France and Italy, where it's actually just full chateaus, the exact same price, and like photo of a Vancouver or a Toronto property with like boarded up windows, like cracked in for, $1 million. And then you're buying like a French chateau.
South of France with your own with your own wine garden. What do you call it? Winery?
Vineyard.
Vineyard.
Wow. Vineyard.
It's Monday. A great palace. What do you call that thing?
Speaking of boarded up crack dens, I was on.
That was before we came on camera, Greg.
I was on a show called a new podcast called Pipeline Profits last week.
I like the name.
And it's on. I'll put the link in, but it's on YouTube. It's Anyways, it's pretty good. Talked.
Put it in here.
People.
I'd like to watch it as well.
Emma Pace and Ryan Wykes. Yeah, it's anyways, it's a good episode. Just me being interviewed was kind of fun and different.
Yeah, we should follow up with BHB TV too, because we got to see what's happening with that.
We got canceled.
Oh yeah,
we must.
They're not putting out there. We're clearly
no,
canceled.
we were too.
Gosh, that was a few months ago.
Gosh,
that was a few months ago. What happened to that one?
So what
maybe
did they
the
ask you
audio.
about, Greg? What's the
What's the
interview?
premise of the
Just
podcast? You didn't really give any info.
anything about me. Like it's basically a sales podcast, real estate sales, and it just interviews people talking about, where they came from, what they do, what they have in their business that they'd like to share. So I just talk about growing up, what I did, getting into real estate, things that I do in my business. I gave some pretty good tidbits for new agents, I think. Anyways, and they're great. They both hosts are top producers in Toronto.
Awesome.
And so they had some really good questions, and it was a lot of fun.
And the name again?
Pipeline Profits.
Pipeline Profits.
I'll put the link in le chat. le chat, the chat.
Yeah. Not Le Chat. That doesn't sound good.
Chat. That's how I feel right now.
Yeah.
Le chat.
All right.
I feel like Le Chat. Mood boost?
I think we should.
Yeah. Boost.
On that note,
We've wasted
God.
enough of people's time. So.
Yeah.
let's waste a little bit more though.
Oh, and sorry, I believe we're gonna have our guest on next week. Yeah. So that's that'll be good. Christina
who's the
Clavero
guest?
from the agency.
Yes.
The agency.
The agency.
The agency. Okay, so here we go. 3. I got 3. Number one, my wife asked me to stop singing Wonderwall to her. I said maybe. Steven didn't even let me finish. Wow.
Trigger happy.
I said. All right, number 2. Had to fire my fruit delivery driver today. I hate to let the man go. He's driving me bananas.
Yes.
3-parter there. Driving me bananas.
Yeah.
Literally. Number 3, got a parking ticket yesterday. I'm not sure why. The sign said fine for parking. Not too much slapping today. Oh, well, that was fun.
I just realized the headline for my podcast is called From Morning Routines to Crack House Chronicles.
Is it?
Yeah. That's
Oh my
the name
gosh.
of the podcast. Amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Glorious.
Perfect for my setting
glorious.
today. My
Yeah.
studio.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Great. Well, thank you everyone for tolerating us today, and we will be back next week with a guest. It was an informative show, fun.
Yeah, it was good. The stats,
Some information.
had some information. The Kanata stats, I think, are pretty wild.
You could basically
that's
just have
pretty
stopped
wild.
listening after about 8th minute.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we read headlines and we listed stats.
And listed
earful.
shots.
Yeah, yeah, and if Jeff wants to post in Le Chat at the bottom of the video, we should just read them on air.
Jeff.
We'll just read them on air every time now, just so people can understand.
I feel like we should have Jeff on the show, but no video though. Just him ranting, audio only, while he's driving a car or something through
He
traffic.
needs to have like the anonymous
Angry.
mask on. So just, yeah.
Yeah. Monday minute with Jeff.
Monday Minute with Jeff.
Just
Yeah.
a minute rant.
I like that. Just send it in, Jeff. We'll
Let
put
us
it up.
know. We'll do it. Let's go.
Just send it in. Yeah.
I like it.
We don't even
All right.
need to see it. Just send it in. Audio. Get it done. We want you.
Thank you, everyone. We'll hopefully be back next week.
If we're not banned from something.
Oh, forgot my hand again. Next week.
All right.
All right. See you guys.
This is everyone.
Bye, everyone. Sorry about that.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe because we'd really like that.